Bee Swarm Simulator just updated. Well, that's amazing. It means that there are a ton of new mistakes that a bunch of players are making. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys the best tips and tricks for this update, and be sure to avoid these mistakes because it can either make or break your entire experience in this update. So without any further ado, here we go. All right, now starting off with number one, it's your hive. Now this is because Onnit has done a heck ton of rebalancing. Blue hives got nerfed with a bunch of their abilities and the hive, so now you need to redo your hive. Red hive flames got reworked a ton, so now you got to redo that. White hives are actually surprisingly unaffected. White hives got buffed a ton, but if you're a red hive or a blue hive, you need to do some serious changes. You're basically going to need to redo some of your hive, maybe just change up a few things, and also update your cog amulet because some of the stats changed on it. I'll be linking both a red and a blue hive guide in the description of this video right now, so remember, in case you are a red or a blue hive, go make sure right now that your hive is completely updated for the new update, so that way you can keep making the maximum amount of honey. Now the next tip is probably the most important tip I'll give you all video, and that's in this retro challenge. Please, oh my gosh, grind the retro challenge out to infinity. You might be wondering why this is so important, because the retro challenge loot isn't crazy good. Trust me, it is, because if you beat round 20, you can get marshmallow bees. Marshmallow bees are kind of like some of the rarest items in the game now, because there's no real renewable way to get them, and so most players have like under 10 right now. But thanks to this new update, you can actually get marshmallow bees in a renewable way. The only problem is, of course, is that this update is limited time, so it is going to go away at some point. Meaning you should be spending your time wisely right now. While yes, you can start boosting and make a ton of honey right now with all the rebalances, it is so much more important that you're grinding out the robo challenge instead with the team, so that way you can get to round 20 and get back to maximum marshmallow bees. This should be your number one priority in Bee Swarm right now. Just keep grinding retro challenge until you have 25 marshmallow bees. That way you'll be prepared for beesmas this summer. And speaking of beesmas, that leads me to my next tip, which is to boost right now, but don't boost too much. The fact that white hives got buffed and red hives got reworked is pretty cool, and you guys are probably dying to boost with the new coconut belt, and I would say yes, try boosting a ton and get really good at it, but don't boost too much because beesmas is going to be coming this summer, and the prime time to actually boost is beesmas. So you don't want to waste all of your resources right now just casual boosting in the game. You want to save your resources for when beesmas releases and boosting becomes overpowered. And that's not me saying you can't boost right now. You're probably going to have some extra materials, so all I'm saying is don't use up all of your super smoothies right now because you're going to be needing them during beesmas. So just try a few boosts with your brand new hive. You know, make sure you've still got the skill to boost, so that way when beesmas comes out you can boost even more and make even more honey. Now when it comes to honey making, I think one thing that a lot of us forget to do is bee quips, because that's the next tip. Onnit just added some really overpowered bee quips in the shop, but they are a little bit rare, so that's why the next tip is to constantly check Dapper Bear's shop as much as possible, because the new bee quips are going to be spawning and some of them are pretty freaking good, especially the candy ring. You want to be checking Dapper Bear's shop as much as possible and seeing if you can buy some of these new bee quips, because they're going to be worth a lot. Not to mention they'll just make you a lot of honey when you're boosted. Trust me, you need to focus on bee quips if you want to make a lot of honey. But you know what you don't need to do? Buy mythic egg. That's right, the next tip is actually a mistake I know a lot of you are going to make, so please don't do this. It's the mythic egg right here. Basically, Onnit added mythic eggs to the shop, and yes, I know the mythic egg looks amazing to all of you blue backpackers and anyone who isn't like a complete professional at the game, but please, please, please don't buy it. It is 2,500 tickets for a singular mythic egg, and it is much more worth it for you to just buy all of the event bees instead. You will make so much more honey off of that. Honestly, there is really no point in actually buying the mythic egg. It's just a lot of honey, and the only thing you're actually going to get from it is a mythic bee, which, surprise, surprise, is good, but it's not worth 2,500 tickets. And it's most definitely not worth donating to the sticker stack, because I assure you, this is the only sticker that's actually worth close to 2,500 tickets. Trust me, there are going to be times to get free mythic eggs during beesmas, so why waste your tickets right now? It's just not worth it. The one thing that actually is worth it to buy is the diamond egg, because for only 400 tickets you can get a diamond egg, and I'm sure a ton of you need it for the diamond mask. Getting the 5 diamond eggs for the diamond mask is usually the hardest part of the grind, so the fact that you can just buy the diamond eggs now is so amazing. So if you're having trouble getting the diamond mask, just go buy some right now. I know it's a bit expensive, but it is so worth it. But of course, there is one thing that's even more worth it this update, and that is white hives. Now, I'm not saying you have to switch your hive completely. I'm not saying you have to abandon red or blue hive. Of course I am. Go, switch white right now, do it. Buy the gummy baller, buy everything, buy the coconut belt, do it. Oh my gosh, white hives were overpowered before, and on it just made them even more overpowered in the update. This is too crazy. White hives are gonna be hitting numbers like never seen before on the leaderboard. Seriously, with the coconut belt, new instant conversion, the white pollen, the buffs on the wind shrine, there is so much that has been added to make white overpowered, which means that right now it is the best decision to switch to a white hive because we make the most honey right now. You remember when blue hives were overpowered and everyone was switching to blue? Well, that's happening for white hives right now. White hives are amazing and a lot of people should be switching to them. Just keep in mind and make sure you're actually eligible to switch to white hives. White hives are in need of a ton of gum droppers and they need a lot of stingers in order to boost correctly. So if you're not macroing and you don't have access to a lot of stingers, literally like you need a couple hundred per boost, then don't switch to white hive as you won't be able to keep it up. If you don't have a ton of stingers, you can switch to a gummy star shower amulet, which still does make a lot of honey, but you're going to need a lot of gum droppers, keep in mind. And also you are going to need gummy baller and coconut belt, which leads us to our next tip, which is when you should buy the coconut belt. Now the coconut belt is definitely such an amazing item, but it's extremely expensive, costing 7.5 trillion honey and 3 turpentines, which is almost as much as the gummy baller. So if you're a red or a blue hive, the coconut belt is definitely worth it, but chances are you should probably be saving up to buy your endgame collector first before you buy the coconut belt. And this could not be more true for white hives as well. Buying the coconut belt is going to set you back 3 turpentines. So while the coconut belt is worth it, it is much more worth it to have those extra turpentines so you can actually buy the gummy baller in the first place. So summing up this tip, you should make sure that you basically have your endgame collector before you get the coconut belt. If you have the extra materials, then go ahead, but I don't know how many of you actually do have those extra materials just lying around. I mean, just look at this cost. 200 purple potions and 1,500 tropical drinks is a little insane, so chances are you should be saving. But regardless of whether or not you have the coconut belt or your endgame tool, there is one thing that everyone should be doing, and that's grinding puff shrooms more. And that's because puff shrooms got a bit of a rework, not just to give you blessing, but the loot has also increased a bit. So now the loot doesn't degrade as fast as it used to, and you can get more loot. This is just overall a nice change, so I think everyone should be doing puff shrooms more to take advantage of the new loot buffs, but also to get the new puff shroom blessing, as it gives some pretty decent stats, especially for white hives, because we all get 10% honey from tokens now from the puff shroom blessing. So just make sure that you're running puff shroom, and make sure that you have a group together, which actually does lead us to our next tip. Try and make a bee swarm group, like have a close friend group online. I mean, they don't have to be close, but you want to find people that you can grind with, because this update is good, but it's so much better if you can do it with a team. Like the retro challenge, for example, it's so tough, but if you can find high level friends that are willing to do it with you, they're the ones that are going to help you get to round 20 plus. Same thing with puff shroom runs. If you can find a team that's willing to run puff shrooms with you every single day, you are going to be getting a lot more loot. If you can find a group that's going to help you boost as a white hive, you're going to be making more honey. It all comes down to finding a team. It's basically just people that are going to keep you on track, so you're constantly grinding the update, and they're people that are going to be helping you while you actually do grind and try to make progress, because they're going to be making progress with you and helping you. I understand it can be tough, so my best option for all of you antisocial people is just to join some Discord servers and try and meet some people, or to just friend every single level 20 hive you meet in the game. Now, while all these tips are crucial, there is still so much more I could share about this update because of all the rebalances and all the new buffs. So if you don't want to miss all those important videos, honestly, you don't even have to subscribe, just hit the bells. It's much more effective. And don't worry, I will be making guides on the brand new red hives and blue hives, so that way you guys can make a good composition. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow the tips and tricks, and I will see you all in the next one.